Hello everybody, it's Steven, not at his kitchen counter. Yes, I'm messing with this bike again. Votol, here to stay. Okay, found a website, well, AliExpress, that showed the 2000 watt motor. Only rated at 48 volts, but they did indicate that if you put 60 volts to it, you get XRPM. 72 volts XRPM, and I will splice this video and post a picture of that so you guys can see it. So here's what I got. Page 1, and hopefully you guys can see this. Alright, I am going to stick with 40 amp because of the original bike. The manufacturer of this E-Vader may have requested to cheap out because they knew the controller would never, the batteries, lead acid batteries would never be able to control it. So they could have actually cheaped out some and put thinner wire in it, causing the overall effect to be less current required. So I'm going to hit it with 40 amp, which was the fuse rating, and don't forget on 21S. Alright, now the flux weakening 1300, and then the next column beside it 250. Now these others over here are in relation to sport mode, so this one needs to match. You can set this at 25. Pretty much I found any other number but 0 or 25 will cause the motor to not spin. Default for this section is 0, but this needs to match and this needs to match. Well, speaking of needing to match, I need to change that. And basically I'm just doing this in case anybody wants to upgrade with the Votol, because I can tell you that is a beautiful spot for this. Right dead underneath that storage tank. That gives you all that storage compartment area for a battery. But anyway, that's matching. Alright, now the website for their 2000 watt motor was showing 28 pole, so that's here. And for the software, you're going to have to do -60 for phase angle. I think that's got something to do with the original controller. It didn't show what kind of phase angle it had. There was no indication on it whatsoever. So that kind of left me out in the blind. And this crazy thing don't want to focus. Okay. But I guess I could move it up a little closer to let you guys get a look. 28 pole pair, -60 on shift angle. That'll make the motor spin forward. The next category, I've already been over this once, is your 3-speed switch. And 3-speed switch is here. It's coming out of the harness for the bike. The wire colors are brown and white, black, well, blue and white, and then red. red, brown and white, blue and white, and it plugs right into the controller harness. Those colors for the harness: yellow and white, green and white, and black in the center. See that? Now I actually marked that speed control before I unplugged it, because the original controller is marked on the controller side. Let's see. The purple wire coming out of the wiring harness, that is your communication line. The white line by its lonesome coming out of the controller is line communication, but in the software you can change it over from line communication or Hall emulation. But this Votol will not work with this speedometer, period. You'll have to replace it. I don't know what's going on there. Quite honestly, I don't care at this point. I'll be glad to pay 60 bucks to replace that. They've got a nice one on AliExpress. I think it's called a DKD. What was the whole name? DKD speedometer or something in that nature. Let's see, back to this. Now, the RPM that I'm focused, dang it. Okay, neat little feature about the software is you can actually see the voltage, the current, and the RPM. This is first speed. I'll let you guys see this. RPM. That's like 60% speed. That's the way I've got it set. Next one is 80% speed. And then 100% speed. Now at 72 volts on that web page, when I get it posted in there, if you take a look at it, they've got it listed at 980 RPM at 72 volts. I'm running 21, so if that stands true, now I don't have it bumped up by much, but if 21S bumps the speed up any, I figured it might go up maybe 1050. So 1020, I'll handle that. And actually, after this motor runs a little bit, it is total silent. It doesn't make any bumping noise, and some of that is actually vibrating from this controller. I still got to put 2 bolts in it on each corner. I've got one here and one here, but I can take care of that later. Main thing is getting this thing stable. So I guess that's all I want to cover for now. I'll catch you on the flip. Okay, a little view of underneath. That was complete dead space. Now the hydraulic brake line, I had to actually run underneath because that brake line was sticking way out here. It's like, let me move back. It was like running way out here and back around. It's really long. As you can see, I've got it going underneath right there, and it almost sticks out to the edge. But if the body panel goes up against that, that's fine. I don't have any problem with that. I've got to wire tie everything together here pretty soon. main fuse is here, which is underneath the seat. As you can see, I replaced all the wiring with 4-gauge wire, all the way up to the controller from the battery. And you can use these type connectors. If you get a big hefty BMS that's rated at 80 amp, that BMS cost me quite a bit. I think it was like 60 bucks, something like that. Could be wrong. I believe it was about 60 bucks on eBay. $80 amp 21S. But if you don't do 21S, hey, that's fine. Just look for something that's hefty and rated at whatever voltage you decide to use. But if you use the Votol, do not go over 90 volts. I was warned before I bought it. Alright, I'll catch you guys on the flip. I'll probably do a cut, take it out for a speed test, and do screen capture with with the speedometer. Okay, catch you later. Okay, people, hello. Move my phone now. It's only doing screen capture anyway, so you guys can't see where I'm at. Stop mid-flight. Actually, it feels like it's hitting all its magnets now. I gotta get my booster board. I put it in a big freaking envelope. Little bitty ass thing on a large envelope. You gotta love Prime. Boy, I tell you, over packaging moron. Throw this on my porch. Now that 22 mile an hour is actually going downhill and it's only a few seconds. I think that just fell underneath my porch. Lovely. And nice temperature today, up in the 70s. Hey. nobody can get curious when they see you turn around in the driveway, like, what they do? Side and stop this camera screen capture and actually go to camera. Oh, topped out to 48 mile an hour. A lot of that was going downhill though. What was the average? I thought for sure this thing gave the average. Whoa, a wasp on my handlebars. Not fun. Okay, let me stop this screen capture. Get you guys looking straight ahead. And it's not exactly straight ahead. Gonna be a little bit of a goofy angle. Sorry about that, but it is mounted on my handlebars and I have a click indention that doesn't allow me to go that many clicks. Definitely most likely gonna be windy, but here we go. Yeah, well, I might be able to get a little better angle on that. It's not hitting the storage tank. Yeah, that's a little better. Okay. There is a boost mode. I remember reading in the manual on it sometime, and it really was pretty vague. It did say something about boost, but it didn't tell you how, and me messing around with it last night actually let me figure it out. If you're in speed 3, if you switch to speed 2 and then back to 3, it'll give you a boost for like 30 seconds. That's about it. Currently at 86 volts and it's running right around having a 10 volt drop. I guess I can expect that. I'm running a max current of 50 amps. That Sabaton is not compatible for this bike. stopped because I'm going to check the motor temperature.
Ah! Aha!
Barely even warm. Let's do a 3-mile run. Let's see, what would that be? Yeah. Alright, in this part of the video, I was trying to point out that the Sabaton, how the motor locked up on me right here. And I'll go over more detail in the driveway when my fiance was on with me. She wasn't with me in this area. I was by myself. I didn't tell her anything about it, but when I got up to the turnoff that I'm about to get to, I let off the throttle real quick. You know, it's nature. Anybody that rides a motorcycle, if they want to slow down, they'll either let off gradual or let off quick. It just depends on how they feel. At this time, a couple of seconds, well, a few seconds down farther, there'll be a turnoff, kind of like a left turn, or a right turn rather, shoulder light. I'll let off the throttle really quick. And the rotor blocked up on me. I'm talking wheel screeching and going sideways. So I hit the throttle kind of quick and it started spinning again. But okay, well, back to the video. And yeah, it was scary, and I'll say this here in a few seconds. I didn't realize the wind was going to be that bad. That particular spot where I've got my phone at, it's just catching all the air going across it. When I had it in the center, you really couldn't see anything, but my phone was also hitting the storage tank down at the bottom in the middle when I turned it to try and catch where I was at. Plus, it's a bad angle. I've seen lots of motorcycle rides where people have just got a complete bad angle. They're either looking down at the gas tank or at their speedometer, or maybe 10 degrees up to where they're going. You can't see nothing. Can't see where they're going. Can't see what's ahead whether they're on an incline or a decline. That always got on my nerves. So anyway. That was pretty scary. Didn't have a wreck, but you know, for somebody that was inexperienced and can't figure out what's going on, well, it might be a bad situation. 48 mile an hour is actually I believe I'm going to be content with that. You guys have a good day and hope you enjoy. This Votol is definitely staying on this bike. The Sabaton, like I was saying earlier, the Sabaton that I purchased is not compatible for high brake, so you're pretty much out of luck there. Although it does have an auto regeneration. The fact that when you let go of the throttle real quick, it wants to lock the hub motor up. The first time it did it, I had my fiance on with me. You know, she weighs a little bit more than I do, not by much, and I weigh 160. I think she's about 170, 180. And that hub motor's still locked. So, I really, it's kind of unnerving, you know. But it's your all's choice. Sabaton is a lot easier, but with this hub motor, I don't know. Maybe if you set it at 28 pole and leave it there, it may be okay. But to go with that, you won't have brake regeneration. This Votol does have auto regeneration when you let off the throttle. The only thing about the Votol is it's not for the faint of heart in the least bit. But I'm giving all the information that I can give to help someone else that may want to upgrade later. And by all means, you can stick with your lead acid batteries, but get rid of that motor controller. It's junk. Pure sine wave motor controller works a lot better. In fact, you don't even have to go with the larger 150. If you want to keep the original motor, just go with the, I think they've got a 45, 60, 100, 150, 200. You could probably get by with the 60 and get a little bit more performance, but there again, you're not going to be able to go over 37 amps. You might as well fall back to 45 and set it up to 45 amp. And you've got a nice space underneath the storage compartment to store the motor controller. Or if you do the 45 amp Votol, you might even be able to get by with storing it in that steel crate that's underneath the seat, if that's where they're still putting it. This is a 2019 model. They do have the 2020s out on Venom Motorsports. And I'm actually considering buying the Vader 125 and upgrade the motor in it. In no hurry, I've got to recover. Somebody got brand new tires not too long ago. Fiance had that tire, went flat on her, and all the tires was ready to be replaced anyway, so I had to shell out money for that. Now I'm going to have to recover from that. The money that I spent on this, I've got $230 in the Votol 150. About the same in the Sabaton 150 or Sabaton 100, and then another $130 in the Sabaton 45 just to test with, and I ended up going back to the Votol. So it's money wasted, and I'm going to have to recover from it before I really do anything else. I'll catch some warm days out on this thing and just go out and ride around, goof off. But I don't particularly care to take it out on main roads with a speed limit of 55. But I will just for short distances, like 6-7 miles out. But that's about it. I may even try and drive it for work and take the long way around, stick in the slower zones to do what I need to do. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed the video. That is the first ride that I've recorded, for the most part. And let me know what you think in the comments. I know there's not going to be too awful many people that's going to view the progress on this thing, but hey, that's fine. These things aren't all that popular anyway, but there are people out there that have them, and if they want to look into upgrading, well, they can follow along with me. Have a good one.